What's up, guys, and welcome to the Amber Shaper Unsock Raid Guide. 3-stage fight on this one, and as always, the abilities will be scrolling above my head. A lot of abilities to go over here, so let's get right into it. First things first, you need 2 tanks for this fight. The reason you need 2 tanks for this fight is because during stage 1, that is the biggest thing that you're worried about, okay? Is you're going to have little living ambers that spawn after he does Amber Scalpel. The Amber Scalpel is the ability where he picks somebody. If he picks you with Amber Scalpel, run around the back of the room. What does it do? It puts those little yellow dots out, spawns living amber ads. You want to burn down those ads. Multi-dotters are great for this, okay? That's the first ability you need to watch out for. The healing ability you need to watch out for is called Parasitic Growth. What it does is it's a 30-second debuff that doesn't do a ton of damage. Over the course of time, it will kill them if they're not healed, but the problem is if you spam heals on them, they will take increased damage and die. So you will eventually kill the Parasitic Growth person as a healer if you're not being careful. So what you need to do is have one healer pretty much assigned to deal with the Parasitic Growth target. You should be okay. Just make the other healer not worry about that. Typically, if it's a 10-man, you have one healer whose main concern is the tanks. You have the other healer whose main concern is the Parasitic Growth. That way they're not confusing each other. Obviously, you can help on the tank, but you don't want to have 2 people healing that Parasitic Growth without communicating. The reason being is if you cast too many heals on them, they'll blow up. It's not good. Don't do that. The reason you need 2 tanks, though, is during stage 1, you will actually have your tank get transformed into an A-bomb, okay? What do you do as an A-bomb? You get on the boss, you spam 1. 1 hits the boss and will interrupt the boss, okay? When you cast, you can interrupt yourself by pressing 2. You can pick up the little amber pools with button 3. And you can leave once you're at 20% or below with button 4. Those are the only 4 abilities you have while in the A-bomb. That's all you have to worry about. This is the Amber Scalpel I was telling you about. That's the ability. As soon as it picks you, just run around the back of the room and kite it. Little ads will spawn out of that. They don't have an aggro table. They will just sit on somebody and beat the crap out of them. So multi-dotters are amazing for this fight because you just dot them up and kill them. They're not a huge priority, but they do need to die. If you have an amber on you guys, make sure that you are not dropping it on another amber pool. If that amber dies by an amber pool, it will heal. Okay, you don't want to take or have them all together either. Just keep them spread out in a way so that you don't need to worry about it. How we did this fight was we made sure that we knew that at the end of the day the boss is going to be on green. So put your living ambers out around green so that the people who get in the A-bombs can drink the pools instead of getting mind controlled and killing the raid. You don't really eat pools until phase 3 when it's people other than the tank who's getting in them. In phase 2 you will also have people getting in them, but we'll go over that next. Okay, for phase 2, an Amber Monstrosity will come out. That's the big yellow guy that you see. He will now choose pretty much anybody to get put in an A-bomb, and you're doing pretty much the same things. You're burning that guy down so that he can get out eventually, but you always want to have one guy on there because what's happening is you're building stacks on the boss by pressing your ability button. It adds damage that they take. This adds damage to the boss, this adds damage to the monstrosity. So as the fight progresses, you do more and more damage to the monstrosity until he dies. Same thing with the boss at the end. That's where you're going to see these DPS numbers just skyrocket. However, your priority system is ads first. You want the little ads to be down, and you don't want to have a ton of people in the A-bomb going into phase 3. Because again, you're just risking people getting mind controlled and dying. So you're leaving them at 20% so they can get out whenever they want. That's really the biggest thing, is you have a willpower bar when you're in the A-bomb, and I'm in the end at the end so you can kind of see it, but you have a willpower bar. If it goes below, or if it hits 0, you get mind controlled, you kill everybody in the raid, it's GG, so don't do that. That's the only reason you burn them down, is so they can leave before that happens. Other than that, you're interrupting your own cast with number 2, again, and you're just spamming 1 on the boss and interrupting the boss. That's pretty much, that's how you do the A-bombs, guys. On this phase, again, it doesn't really matter. Spread out loosely. Again, your main goal is just puddle placement and burning down the Amber Monstrosity while keeping the ads under control, the A-bombs under control, because he does it periodically. It doesn't really matter. And so if you don't knock them out at the end of the fight, you don't have enough people, it just gets hectic. Just do it this way. That's how we did it. So the next thing that you're going to do is, once the Amber Monstrosity dies, then he goes into phase 3. Clean up all the living ambers because they will hit harder and there's just too much damage going out, and you need the pools. So burn down whatever remaining living ambers are out. focus the boss, pop your hero, burn them down. You will get randomly chosen for an A-bomb at this point. You don't break them out. You just pretty much stack on the boss and just burn, 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 burn. DPS, if you don't get picked, that's what you're doing, is you're just burning on the boss. You're not worrying about cleave damage, AoE damage, anything. Your sole goal is just to burn the boss. It's more of a softened rage than anything else. He will get to a certain point where there's just a lot of AoE damage getting out. Again, this is where you're going to be using your raid cooldowns, cycling through healers and everything else. Remember that healers can get chosen for A-bombs. So don't call out for a cooldown. If you get called out for a cooldown and you're in the A-bomb, yell that out to your raid leader, because it is important, or whoever's in charge of calling out the raid cooldowns, because they need to know that so they can switch it up on the fly. It's just very, very important to do. How you're not supposed to do the A-bomb is walk around like an idiot. Know what you're doing before you go into the A-bomb. Make sure that if you're going to get 0 willpower in phase 3, if you're getting down low on willpower, that you just go drink a pool. You just go on a pool, you click 3, you drink it, your willpower goes back up, you get back on the boss. GG. That's all you have to do. But you should literally be standing on the boss at all times unless you're drinking. Okay, that's the only other time you don't. Obviously, if you're in an A-bomb, don't stand on the yellow pools. Nobody should ever stand on the yellow pools. But that's literally the whole fight, guys. Like, you're making sure that you're in stage 1, you're burning the boss while getting the tanks down to 20% so that they can keep stacks on the boss so you can get to phase 2 quicker. Keeping the ads under control. That's phase 1. Phase 2, Amber Monstrosity comes out, kill the Amber Monstrosity. Again, you're still burning down your players to keep the, keep people out of the A-bombs, but still keeping that stack on the boss. That's all you're doing. So you can interrupt the boss and stack. That's all the only reason you're in there is to interrupt that big damage he does and to stack on him so that you can get enough damage to get him before the enrage time. That's stage 2. Again, while breaking out the other people down to 20% and while killing the living ambers. End of phase 2 into phase 3 transition. Make sure all the ambers are dead. When you hit phase 3, that's the first priority, is killing off any other ambers. And then your A-bombs stack on the boss. Everyone boom, 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 just blows the boss up. That's literally the entire fight. Again, healers, watch out for the parasitic growth. Go through and read exactly how it works, because it will make sense to you once you actually read the Dungeon Journal way. It is important to understand how that works. Tanks know how to swap. Know when you're going to get put in so that the other tank can make sure he's out of the A-bomb and so that you can get in, maintain the stacks on the boss so that your damage increases as a rate overall. If you can do that, you can beat this fight. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.